Android gaming is getting bigger and better every month, and there is always a slew of new titles coming to Google Play. Whether you're a casual gamer or want something with a bit more meat on its bones, there's usually a game coming out to suit everyone's taste. Some months are better than others, but there is usually at least one great new game on mobile every month. Let's look at the best new Android games from the last month. Devolver Tumble Time is a physics-based puzzle game with match 3 mechanics. Players tumble the characters around in a washer, while trying to match up 3 or more of the same character to remove them from the washer. Players unlock new characters as they progress. It's a decent overall experience, although it could be improved. There are ads in the game, which isn't usually bad, but these ones are timed in such a way that they appear mid-level, which is never a good idea. Additionally, the difficulty ramps up quite a bit in the later stages. It's very playable, and it's unique in the match 3 space, but as with many new games these days, we'd like to see more game and less advertising. Final Fantasy XV War for Eos is a mix between a mobile RPG and a kingdom builder. For the RPG side of things, players use their preferred Final Fantasy XV characters to do battle with bad guys and progress the game. Between those missions, your goal is to build up a city and defend it from invasion. We usually see games with one of these mechanics, but rarely both. War for Eos manages to balance both pretty well, although it's a better kingdom builder than RPG. The gameplay loop is pretty easy from there. Go on quests, get materials, use materials to build, and repeat. It's very similar to the previous Final Fantasy XV mobile game, so players of one should enjoy this one too. Flash Party is a fighting game similar to Super Smash Bros. You and up to 3 others start on a platform with the expressed goal of knocking everybody off. The last player standing wins. You have over 20 characters to choose from, and each one has its own subtly different style for players to use. Each character is categorized into one of 4 categories, depending on the overall play style the player wishes to use. The game also includes 1v1, 2v2, and 4v4 modes, along with a soccer mode. There are also limited time events to help keep things fresh. It's a surprisingly fun little game, although we think Super Smash Bros. Is still a bit better. Even so, you can't play Super Smash Bros. On mobile without an emulator. Match War is a match 3 puzzle game with combat mechanics. You match 3 or more shapes together, and the resulting match deals damage to your opponent. Meanwhile, your opponent is trying to do the same thing to you. The game uses real-time PvP, so you're playing against other players most of the time. There is a single-player mode with stages you can clear as well. Some other goodies include an infinite tower mode, special abilities, and a player customizable castle that you can add to as you win more items. It's not the deepest or most complex game we've ever seen. However, it's not bad if you want to kill a few minutes. NBA All World is the latest game for Niantic, developer of Pokémon Go. This game uses similar mechanics to Niantic's other games. You roam around the real world to collect items and engage in 1v1 mini-games. The game uses real NBA players, which is a nice touch, and all of the mini-games, items, and concepts are based on basketball. In terms of gameplay, anyone who's played Pokémon Go will feel right at home here. You use points of interest to collect things like clothes and coins, and then use those to upgrade your character. There are some downsides. It's new, so the game still has some early bugs that need to be dealt with. Additionally, the endgame can get quite grind-heavy, which lowers player enjoyment. Otherwise, it's quite good. Pompom is a 2D platformer with some puzzle mechanics. You play the role of Pompom, and you jump around levels while avoiding obstacles and bad guys. Pompom runs forward on its own, and the player determines when it jumps or uses one of its abilities to get across gaps or around obstacles. The game also boasts 8 worlds to play through, items to collect, and plenty of tools for players to use. The free version of the game acts as a demo, so you can see if you like it. You need to pay $5.49 for the full game. We don't see a lot of premium platformers anymore, so this is a welcome addition. We think the game mechanics for this one are quite good as well. Shadow Slayer. The Dark Impact is a 2D hack-and-slash game. This one is pretty simple, but the execution is also good. You drop into a level, hack and slash your way to the end, level up, and use new weapons and abilities to continue to progress through the game. There are also boss battles, multiple characters to play with, and plenty of things to collect. The gameplay is reasonably smooth, and the graphics fit this type of game surprisingly well. In other words, it's nice to both play and look at. The only downsides are small on-screen controls, and the enemies scale up a bit too quickly as you progress, which not so subtly encourages players to buy things with real money to progress easier. You don't need to do that, but it does make the grind longer. Tiny Auto Shop 2 is a business simulator where you run a car shop. Cars come in, and you fix them, wash them, and return them to the customers as fast as you can. Over time, you hire and manage staff to do this for you, and eventually, your business pops off and makes a bunch of money. It's very similar to games like Happy Clinic, so fans of that game and similar games know what to expect here. It has the usual free-to-play pitfalls, like increases in difficulty that are most quickly solved by spending real money. However, if you can wait it out, you can finish the game without buying anything. Tomb Raider Reloaded is the latest game from CDE Entertainment, developer of Hitman Go and Lara Croft Go. It's a top-down puzzle shooter. Players move Lara Croft around the game with a joystick while she auto-shoots at bad guys that get in the way. You collect various items from each level and progress through the game. There are also power-ups and other things to help make the game easier, although many of them require in-app purchases to get. The game isn't terribly difficult, and the light bullet hell concept means you spend most of your time dodging attacks, while Lara Croft slowly shoots her way through the hordes of enemies. The release was a bit rough, so there are some bugs, but once they get patched up, this should be a pretty enjoyable little mobile game. Whiteout Survival is a survival kingdom builder that takes place in an Ice Age apocalypse. Players build a town around a furnace that helps keep the city warm. Your goal is to fuel the furnace, build out your town, and explore the surrounding areas for resources to build further. As you upgrade the furnace, more and more space becomes available, and your little city gets bigger and bigger. You also raise an army and use them to take on other players for resources. It's a neat take on the Clash of Clans formula, but we were hoping for a little more survival and a little less combat, since the survival aspect is what makes this a unique game in this genre. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video was helpful.